Oh boy. So, not 100% positive, but it would appear that my alternator has died. So, I do have tow coming to pick me up. And I guess this is going to be a pretty impromptu video. So, yay. What's up, YouTube? Today is an impromptu video, which unfortunately you guys got a very interesting intro, and fortunately I have to say the car actually warned me to pull over, so I was able to find a really good spot to pull over before it totally shit the bed on me. But we have a bad alternator. I went ahead and called my local tow organization that I'm part of, and they were quick. They were real quick. And well, the car is back. So here's a mid-week episode. So without further ado, because we got to get down and get the alternator before they close, here we go. All right, so we have a single bolt right here, and you have two straps, one lower here and then one on the mass airflow sensor. And you're going to also have to go over to here, and you're going to have to remove your hose clamp here. Make sure you give yourself quite a bit of slack, because otherwise what you'll end up doing is what I just did, and you're going to tear your boot, which looks like it was getting to the point where it needed replacing anyways. But as we need this thing running, as this is now our daily driver, what we're going to do, I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to repair. Basically, this is the same kind of material as what you would get in an O-ring. And if you wanted to ever make your own O-ring, which I could actually cover this in a video later down the road, we have, this is Loctite SF 768, and that's the cleanup solvent. Then we also have Loctite 770, which is going to be your primer. Let's see if right. That's your primer, and that's your cleanup. I'm also going to do a little bit of cleanup. These are glass, so be careful with those. Oh, and then this is the most important part. This is what you're going to use. It's an instant adhesive for making O-rings. And then I'm going to use a little bit of cleanup or brake clean fluid to at least try to clean up the area first, and then I'll go on from there. So just a quick little spray, and then use your wipe all to make sure that that area is clean, because we want a really good adhesion. The reason why I'm doing this now, because I haven't gotten the alternator out yet, is because I want this to be done being repaired prior to me going down and getting the alternator and coming back, because I want to be able to throw this back together pretty quickly. So once again, be very careful pulling these things out. When they get old, they do become a little bit more fragile. So, like all of us, what you're going to do is you're going to take the solvent cleaner, and you're going to go ahead and clean the area in which you're going to end up trying to repair. And make sure you close that back up, because this stuff's not cheap. You don't want to spill it and then lose it all. And then you take the primer. So I guess I'll have to say, unfortunately, I made the comment the other day that this thing has been wholly reliable without any issues at all. And then yesterday, my battery light came on. And I was going to do a video on how to diagnose what you have as far as problem-wise, but you know, I got a little bit more complacent when I got home last night, so I didn't. And then I broke down on the side of the road. So when things rear their ugly head, make sure you repair them. I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut this for a second. I'm gonna go get something to cut this open. All right, so I'll cut that for you guys. And so I do have one unopened somewhere, or opened somewhere, but I can't find it. It's probably somewhere in my garage, which is a total mess. All right, then once this is, cut that enough? Of course not. Oh, maybe this was the open or opened one, because I think it may just be that it's, what in the hell? It's dried up all the way down the nozzle. Oh, and it just squirted everywhere. So that made a hell of a mess. Hopefully it didn't get on the windshield. No, it did not. No, it did not. Good, good, good. So we're gonna go ahead, and this is gonna be way more than I need, because now I cut the whole, oops, I'll bleep that. So, well, you want a little bit more precision than what I'm doing, but unfortunately now I have like 80% of it cut off. So now we're gonna let that dry. I'm actually gonna be right back. I'm gonna put a C-clamp on that just so it dries nice and on there. Oh, and don't get this on you. Yeah. Oh no, you can't actually hold clamp it down too hard. Too much. You have to have it just right about there. So I'll see if I can't get a new one, as we need this like right now. I don't have that luxury. So unfortunately this isn't a cooking show. I do not have one of these prepared to the side, so we are going to have to wait a second. Hopefully my hands don't glue to this. So once this is out, all we have to do is release the tension on the belt and then pull the alternator off. All right, that looks like, believe it or not, that looks pretty good. So we're going to set that aside, let that cure the rest of the way. All right, now that we have the air box out and we have nice access to this, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get down. Our tensioner pulley is right below this pulley, which is attached directly to the alternator. So you can see it a little better. And it's right down here. There's a dust cover on it, which we're going to have to pop off. But before we do that, because we are dealing with this, you're going to need a 10 millimeter. Which apparently let's have the 10 millimeter over here already. There it is. It's that damn 10 millimeter. All right, so we're going to go around to here. Take this back off. Pop the trunk open. And then underneath right here, we have a battery. So we're going to go ahead and take the positive terminal off this. Sorry for shaking you around. All right. See if that is loose enough now. she's tough on there, huh? Come on. There we go. Now that that's disconnected, move back to the front. Set these down where I don't lose them, which I will anyways. And now we look for my flathead screwdriver. Oh, it's right here. So we get right down in here. Nice long flathead screwdriver. Which may or may not be a detriment for trying to get this out. There we go. I think that'll do it. Come on. And we'll have to figure out where that ended up. All right, and it looks like it might be like a T30 or something. All right, I'll look for that dust cover in a little bit. But underneath there, see if I can't get you guys in there. You see, it looks like a T30 or something along those lines. We'll go ahead and throw one of those on there and see if we can't get this pulley off, or this belt off, and then we'll take this bolt, and then there's another bolt right below it to get the alternator off. So I'll be right back, see if I can't find a couple tools right quick. All right, now that it's out, we have to take the shroud off because I'm assuming the new one won't have it. And interestingly enough, the bearing doesn't seem to be an issue. But I'll tell you what, the way it gets air into it to cool it off, it's actually right from the same type of plenum as the rest of it, like the rest of the air for the vehicle. And I'm fairly confident it's not supposed to be chock full of yummy leaves. So I don't know if it's burnt out because of that, or what the heck's going on. Which I'm going to go ahead and point out. Thank you, BMW, for being a royal pain in the neck. So here you go, right? You have 17 to pull this off. Then you have to have a, what was this, 13? Yeah, 13 to remove this bolt or nut right here, which will actually in turn allow you to remove the lead to it. And then it's not a 14, a 15 to take these two nuts off. So in order for you to pull this whole thing off and apart, you need three separate, three of them, or three separate ratchets, or bits for the ratchet, or wrenches, or however you want to take it apart. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off right quick. Oh, I'm also going to say, whoever put the bottom bolt, which is actually this one here, right? No, bottom bolt, this one. You see that all right? What do you see? Yeah. Bottom bolt. Must have been the 700-pound gorilla. His holy smokes, that was on there good. It did not want to come off whatsoever. Don't lose these nuts here as you're doing it. I mean, working on BMW is wonderful, it will make you go nuts. Oh, and we need one Phillips screwdriver, which I do not have out here. I'll be right back. Oh, son of a bitch. So, BMW, when you're sucking air, I don't think that's a good thing to do, eh? So, do I assume that there's nothing actually wrong with my alternator? Nah, I'll just go and buy a new one. So yeah, BMW. Perhaps you should put some type of mesh here so that this doesn't, you know, cause it to fail. So I'm sure that there's some type of, oh, it's a $15 core charge. I think I'm gonna hold on to this because it does seem fine. I don't know. But suffice to say, thanks BMW. Thank you. Dankeschön. Dankeschön. Alright. That's it for now. I'll go get the part and we'll pick up where we left off. Alright. So, I got the part. I got some pizza delivered because the struggle is real. Sorry, I'm hungry. Now, oh, there we go. We got the part. It was, now, I like to say how, and I've said it many times. Oh, there we go. I've said it many times how Rock Auto is a phenomenal thing. It's very inexpensive, but there's definitely something to be said about convenience. You do pay more for convenience, but this is a shout out to Advance Auto. The fact that you had this ridiculous alternator with the little scoop thing on it is astonishing. And it's a small town. It's not like it's a big town or anything. So thank you. Thank you for having something that I did not expect you to have, and I was willing to pay the premium because convenience, because it's my daily driver. So let's get back to it. Now, you can see these two bolts right here. There's one here, and then one here. You can see them, it's like there and there. Those are the two bolts that are actually holding it on. And you have your connector, which goes to the top right of the actual device itself, and then you have your link cable. So what we have to do is put it back together, and I guess we just get right into it. All right. All right, now that we have the serpentine belt back on, everything's bolted back in. There's a few more things that need to be done, and I mean, what more can you ask for on a Wednesday night at 8 p.m. than to fight with the? Oh, that's right. I still have to find that dust guard, but to put a serpentine belt back on. You know, if your hands aren't dirty after working on a car, then you're not doing it right. So, man, the mosquitoes are bad this year. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and, we need to find that dust guard before I start putting things back together. Not that it's super necessary, but it is a good practice to not, you know, cop things back together. So, I'm going to go try finding that. Once I find that, we'll get back right to this. All right, cool. All right, now that I found the dust guard, I did go ahead and just slap it back on. I don't know if you can, hold on a second. There you go. So you can see right there, I did find the dust guard. We go ahead and slapped it back on there. It's just a good practice, you know. If it's there for a reason. So all we have to do now is go ahead and probably go get a light so I can see, not only see what I'm doing, but you can see what I'm doing. So I'll be right back. All right, so I actually went and got my super handy, I'll show you that inside later, my shop light, which it's actually a paint light, so you can get true color, and it is very bright. Look at that. So now then, you have to remember that this goes back on there. It just clips on. There's no hose clamp or anything. Make sure that this doesn't get buried. And next we have to find what happened to where'd it go? Oh, that might be it right there. Oh, a second. Yep, I think that's it right there. Okay, so now we have to make sure we plug this all back together. So this actually had all new bits and pieces. Just got to get the bits and pieces into their place. And the only thing it didn't come with was the cap, which is a pretty convenient thing to put back on, so we'll make sure we do that. Switch those back up and put you back on the time lapse. All right, so yes, I do need a haircut, and it is hot, it is raining, and I forgot to close the windows and the battery's disconnected, so there's that. So we still have to just finish putting this back together. The boot seems to be holding up just fine, and we have just the 3 places, excluding this one. That would just be easy to throw that, you know, like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you back on fast forward mode, and so it's a lot quicker for you than me. All right, so everything seems to be back together. Let's see if we move this back a little bit. Actually, that's not too bad. That's a pretty good light when it's, you know, that far away. Alrighty then, we have all our tools out of here. I don't see any laying around. We're all back together. And, oh, you probably can't see me. Oh, I'm gonna haunt your dreams. Oh, I don't know if that's any better. I can't see you. Anyways, so we're back together. We're gonna see how well it hopefully solves the problem. And let's go ahead and put the battery back on. We need a 10mm. And remember, job's not over until the tools are put away. That's why none of my jobs are done, and that's why my garage looks like a mess. And by looks like a mess, I mean your perception is correct. It's a horrible mess. All right, now we just go ahead and put the positive terminal back on, like so. All right. Make sure this is good and tight. back on here. Should have paid attention when this came off, yeah? Oh, I see. And by I see, I have no idea how this came off. I'll come back to that. All right, I'm gonna pause you for a second. I'm gonna pause you for a second, and we'll see what happens. It's probably a little bit longer than normal. Really sorry. That little light. I mean, literally, look how good that does. Well, nice job, little light. All right, so now what we're gonna do, now that everything's been rained on, we're gonna go ahead and see if this solves. Also, whoever designed this point, I hate you. It's a pain in the neck. All right. Cool. Let's see what happens. So, now we move into here. Now, what ended up happening for me was, oh, well, this is going to be lit for you guys. On the dash, yesterday, I hope I was going to get away with it, but I didn't. I didn't get away with it. Hold on a second. All right, so the battery light was on. Also, I'm going to go ahead and drop this before I start her up, because I don't really need it lifted up right now. That was just so I could find that wonderful dust shield. All right. Huh. Oh, what the hell's going on with my neighbors? Huh. Oh, living in the middle of nowhere. Ah, look at that. We are all set. Battery light is off. All right, guys. Sorry for the extended long video. This is kind of a emergency little build or repair. And of course it was because I said the other day, this thing has been nothing but reliable. All right. Till the next time. Stay frosty. Cool. I don't know.